Have you ever felt hurt and alone and possibly a little bit annoyed because other people are comparing you to other people in your professional, personal and business life? It hurts, right? It makes you angry. It makes you feel as though you're not enough, that you're not doing enough, even though in actual fact you're putting in 120% into the things that you're doing. They're just not noticing it because they have that bias towards the other person. You know, statistics say that over 80% of people go through this whole comparison syndrome thing where other people compare them to other people that they like better than them, just because, you know, just because they can, because it makes them feel bigger and better. And you know what? That's not right. You know, from experience, many years ago, I took on a role which was pretty much all of someone else's job and part of another person's job, which was also pretty much a full-time role. Now that got mashed into one job description and one role, which I was supposed to do, you know, all of the work within an 8-hour day. Right, now I was doing my best, you know, I was doing everything I could. I was trying to do everything correctly, trying to do everything right, you know, and then it came to, you know, the appraisal time. You know, I was even being told by other people prior to the appraisal that, you know, I was doing a wonderful job. You know, they really liked having me on board. They, you know, they could see that I was very proactive, very passionate with my work, and they enjoyed working with me, you know, and they could see how far, you know, the team had come since I'd come on board and started, you know, working with them. But yet, you know, appraisal time came, and the first part of the appraisal, I sat down, had a chat with my manager, and my manager, you know, completely agreed on my self-assessment and said, yes, I can see that you're putting in 120% and you're doing really well at it, and congratulations. And, you know, we went on talking for a bit and we didn't get through all of the appraisal. So he then scheduled the other part for the next week, right? Now, during that time, someone else in another part of the organization had gotten into his ear and had basically told him that I wasn't doing parts of my role when I should have been, and that, you know, that I wasn't doing it in a timely fashion, which was, of course, a lie. And that he proposed that one of his mates actually come in and do part of my role. Now that was the part of my role which I actually really, really enjoyed, because I got to meet new people. I got to, you know, be around and experience a different way of working. You know, so, and then the day of the appraisal came, you know, the second one, and, you know, he goes, oh, such and such has told me that you haven't been doing things in a timely manner, that you've been pushing back, that you, you know, that he's not getting what he needs and wants from you. And so we propose that X do part of your job. And I was so thrown, like, seriously, why would they propose X do part of my job when X hasn't done a job like mine before? And then I realized X's role, or his contract, was coming to an end, and he was buddy-buddy with the person who actually, you know, buddy with the person who actually got into my manager's ear. And then it made sense. You know, and then after my manager had told me that, you know, he then started comparing me to the previous person in the role, but not in the entire role that I've been doing, but just that one part of the role, saying that, Eric was doing such a wonderful job, you know, he would do this and he would do that, and he was always so efficient, and, you know, and it really made me feel bad. And it was absolutely a horrible situation, and I felt like saying, well, you really shouldn't be comparing me to him. And, I even explained, I never said that I wouldn't do these things for this person. And I never said that it would have to wait until after something. What I did say was that I was in a meeting, and that I would do it as soon as possible once I get out of the meeting. You know, and so anyway, at the end of that part of the appraisal happened, and it was horrible. Let me tell you, it was absolutely horrible. And then I realized that these people had no idea what was involved in both of the roles that I was doing. So I'm now they had no idea at all. And so I went away. I thought, okay, so how can I make this clearer to them, what I'm actually doing, and how these two roles have different responsibilities, and how I do them on a day-to-day basis. So I put a plan together. You know, I educated them on, you know, the two roles, the different responsibilities, what I was doing, how I was doing it, you know, when I was doing it, and also the different bits and pieces that were coming through which weren't even a part of my role, which I did have to push back, you know, and say, well, this is X's job, not mine. Would you mind going over to X and asking X to do it? So I put that plan together, and sent it through to my manager, and never heard anything back. And, you know, I stayed there for another 6 months after that. My manager never said anything to me about it ever again. So I don't know whether it got through or whether it didn't, but in doing that, he actually got to see just how big the role was, what was involved in the role, and, you know, the two parts to the role, and what wasn't my responsibility to do. And that, in a way, made me feel a bit better, a bit happier. So if there's ever any confusion about what you're doing in the workplace and what your responsibilities are, and, you know, what you need to be doing, why not put a plan together? You know, sit down, nut out, you know, go through your job description or whatever, nut out what things you're doing from your job description, what things other people are asking you to do that is not in your job description, and also even just go through the internet and see what, what things on the internet, you know, what those roles on the internet involve, and put that together and see how you feel after that. You know, because I know that I definitely felt better after putting that plan together and sending it through, because I knew then that, they would have at some point with that plan started to understand where I was coming from. It's just that verbally speaking to them, you know, didn't really help. Sometimes they need to see things in writing. You know, people learn in different ways. You know, some people are visual, some people, you know, you can talk to them about it, some people you have to write about it. You know, it just depends on their learning styles and, you know, their perception on things. But think about that next time a situation like that happens to you.